West Point. That is Dave Magarity. Coach, coming off a great weekend against Colgate. Now another big task ahead of you, taking on a Holy Cross team that swept you last time you faced them. But one of the players you were missing was Kate Murray, and you struggled both offensively and rebounding against Holy Cross without her. How does her presence change how Holy Cross has to guard you and box you out offensively and defensively?
Well, obviously, Kate's one of our better rebounders, if not our best rebounder when she's healthy, and she is. So I thought she had a solid weekend up at Hamilton against Colgate. Her second game Sunday was very, very productive, a double-double. And I think the way Taylor Sullivan's been playing, certainly she's coming off a terrific week. I think was runner-up for Player of the Week in the conference. As you know, and Lithgow again for second Rookie of the Week. But I think Azema and their freshmen who did not play against us in the first two games, she's back. So those two present a major challenge. And I'll be honest with you, people forget about the kid Dembski. I mean, she had, I think, a career high against us. Because of her ability to shoot the ball, and they do a lot of ball screens on the perimeter, a lot of side screens and high screens, which kids like that are going to pick and pop for the three. And Dembski really hurt us, so we're going to have to be careful because you're so worried about LaBarbara and their guards, coming off those screens and making plays. But I'm hoping Kate is the difference because we certainly. Have to. These are huge games for us.
One of the key players who was a big difference for you last weekend, you mentioned her, Taylor Sullivan, runner-up for Player of the Week in the league, but was named the Army West Point Athletic Association Player of the Week, was phenomenal. Her development continues to be so impressive. What would it mean for this team if she can be able to continue to perform similarly as she did last weekend throughout the rest of the stretch run for you guys?
Well, she's exactly where, I mean, obviously you want everybody to get to that point as early as possible in their career, but that's just not the way it goes, especially at this level with Division I basketball and with bigger kids. So, I mean, my experience over my career, Taylor fits the mold of dozens of post players that I've coached, both on the men's and women's side that have. It's taken a little bit longer, for them to get figure it all out. The footwork piece for Taylor, she still has issues with that because she's so straight up and down on the perimeter defensively, and that creates, honestly, offensively. That's why she has a lot of her turnovers or travels because she's too straight up and down, and she's got to figure that out. But she's come a long way. She's just a different player now than she was even a month ago. And a lot of that's confidence. And a lot of that is just her progression. And she's a hard worker. She tries. I mean, earlier in her career, I felt she didn't, really push herself as much as she needed to. And we kept trying to get to her. And I think, I'll be honest with you, I think Heather Stack, my assistant, has really done a great job working with her one-on-one because Heather was a great post player in college and played professionally as well. And she's had a big impact on her.
One of the other players who sort of stepped up, we mentioned it before the interview, how the schedule has changed things and you need some extra players to sort of step up, particularly on the Sundays. And Natalie Ryan has done a nice job of that, particularly last weekend, 5 points on Saturday, scored again, another triple on Sunday. Where has she most improved in her game from last year to now that she's been able to produce for you guys on the floor over the course of the last few weekends?
Well, Natalie is your prototypical program kid who, I mean, she came in technically as a walk-on. I mean, we got her in a prep school. She's just a great kid. She's a great teammate. And then everything after that to me was icing on the cake. Because she just comes every day with a smile on her face. She's probably one of the most popular kids on the team, and everybody loves her. So that helps. But at the end of the day, she's committed to becoming a better basketball player. she's a very good shooter, and when she understands and she has bought into the offense, she's done a great job in terms of keeping the offense moving. She's very committed, to buying into the principles of what we do, and that offense is now in its second year, and it's had its ups and downs. There's been days where you look and go, what are they doing? They just passing the ball. No one's looking to score, and that drives me crazy because we have players that can score, and they need to be more aggressive and more opportunistic, I guess. But we're getting there, and I think that junior class has been leading the way. But the sophomores, I mean, you look at that sophomore class, and unfortunately, Cam Hall is out this year, but I mean, that's a good class with Hunter, certainly Natalie and Cam. And I just, hopefully at the end of the day, we can, she can continue to get more time, and she helps coming off the bench, giving people a blow.
One final question for you, Coach. One of the big issues for you guys last time you faced Holy Cross was turnovers. You had 15 assists the whole weekend and 47 turnovers. Last weekend against Colgate, you really flipped the script on that. 39 assists, 18 turnovers. How do you replicate that effort against a Holy Cross defense that does a really good job of applying pressure in both the backcourt and the front court?
Well, to me, that's focus, focus. Unacceptable. And that's something that drives me crazy. It's always been a pet peeve of mine, in the women's game. I mean, I give you a quick example. We, going back to when I first started here, the year we went to the NCAA tournament in 2006 with Maggie Dixon, that was a good team. They won 20 games, and obviously, first tournament in history of the program. But the next year, one of the things we focused on was turnovers, because we had so many turnovers and we won 20 games. The next year, we had over 130 less turnovers as a program. We won 24 games. And to me, that was proof of the pudding right there. That makes a huge difference. And I think a lot of younger players coming out of high school don't value the possession of the ball. They don't understand that for every turnover is one less shot you get, and one more or more shots that the opponent gets. And that's such a fundamental principle, but it gets lost on kids. They just don't understand that, impulse passing and not making good decisions, that's going to, especially in close games, is going to be the difference.
Head coach of the Black Knights, Dave Magarity, thank you as always for your great insight. Appreciate it. Best of luck this afternoon, and we'll talk to you after the game.
Thanks very much.
Going up next in the pregame show, we'll have starting lineups and tip-offs. Listening to the Army Sports Network pregame show presented by Bud Light.